wrestling with WWE WrestleMania Extra Large. It takes place next Saturday and Sunday in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the Lincoln Financial Field. I didn't know Lincoln gave financial aid to fields, but, the more...
Whoa, terrible joke. Oh, man, that was so bad I think it gave me cancer. Jesus.
Shut up. Like I said, it takes place next week, next Saturday, next Sunday, 2-night event like it has in the last 4 years. As a whole, what do you think of the matches that have been announced, at least?
Considering that the Andre the Giant Battle Royal will not be part of WrestleMania, it will be part of SmackDown, along with the Hall of Fame ceremony. It's really coming together quite well. If anything, it seems like it's getting bigger in terms of WrestleMania related events. At this point, WrestleMania is not a show; it is a convention.
Oh yeah.
And with more of the matches fleshed out, which by the way, I think we were, I think we were right about, at least I was, about a certain, stone. I think the matches are really going to have to deliver. We know Roman and Cody can. We know Seth and Drew can. We know that the tag team match on night one is going to be a banger. Regardless
If The Rock remembers the moves.
Here's the thing, is that these matches are not finalized. And when we get into it, I'll mention it and everything. But supposedly there's also a mystery segment.
Right.
A mystery slot planned for WrestleMania 40.
I mean, there's always,
Yeah, well, if the rumor and innuendo is to be believed, we learned what that mystery was this past Monday.
I don't
Cody
believe.
Cody got thrown into a truck between which two superstars? John Cena and Stone Cold. And apparently John Cena and Stone Cold, the route is for them to, be in Cody's corner on night one?
I mean, it would make more sense if Stone Cold came to help Cody, considering his history with The Rock, rather than John Cena.
This is why I said I think it would make more sense for Triple H to just be in the corner.
I mean, The Rock isn't doing anything on night two. Who's to say that Stone Cold doesn't, The Rock doesn't try to uphold the event? Stone Cold comes out, gives him a stunner.
I mean, could this be the year where we finally learn that Stone Cold and Hulk Hogan will go at it?
Oh God, no! Do not speak that into existence.
One match I always wanted to see, which would be a main event on any other pay-per-view except WrestleMania, is The Rock and Stone Cold against DX. Shawn and Triple H. The whole, it's back when, The Rock and Shawn Michaels were a dream match still. With Cena, if that's the case, I would expect Cena to be competing at Backlash then.
Which isn't necessarily confirmed.
Hell, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't put it past them if they attempted Cena and Cody at Backlash.
That's amazing.
They're not going to do it.
That's a SummerSlam or a Mania match. That's not a Backlash match.
Yeah, but it's a Backlash in France. It's the first pay-per-view in France.
So have two Americans headlined?
How many French wrestlers are there left besides Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens? And technically they're not French.
They're Canadian. Right.
They're Quebecois.
Bring back Rene Dupree?
Let's put PCO. Let's put PCO in the main event.
Well, he can't lose to Kevin Nash. I'll say this.
Oh God, an Eiffel Tower of Terror match.
Oh God, no.
Oh God, what was it? A French strap match. Ooh. Full Metal Miming.
Will you stop it?
Okay, somebody has to dress up as a mime for Backlash.
I mean, Seth Rollins already dresses like a mime on every Monday, so I mean, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities.
He dresses like a blind mime that got stuck in Liberace's closet.
Well, I'll say this.
Not a bad thing either.
I'll say this about the show as a whole, night 1 and night 2. Obviously, we don't know what matches are going to be on what night as of this recording per se. Um, but while there are legitimately good matches that could, steal the show, I don't I don't feel like there was maybe enough build up for a lot of them. Obviously, Seth McIntyre, Cody, Roman, Rock, all of that has been, expertly done. Um, but I kind of feel like the undercard hasn't necessarily gotten the love that it got last year when it comes to fleshing out the story 100%. Especially when it comes to Jay and Jimmy, because, I mean, the promo possibilities are endless, and it doesn't seem like we got, a lot out of them, story-wise. You know what I mean?
Yes. And the thing is that here everything was kind of already happening. It just wasn't essentially made official. Um, so, you know, kind of running off the idea that a match has to be announced before it can be built up properly. Um, and that's, I don't consider that the case here.
That's not what I meant.
But I don't think they actually had Jimmy and Jay in mind for at least one-on-one at Mania.
I think that this was the plan since August, SummerSlam.
I I think this was Plan B. Um, After Punk getting injured.
Well, we could definitely play, fantasy booking all we want, but we have the card in front of us. Um, and one of those matches I kind of feel that just kind of got drawn together last minute, was a match that was announced last night on SmackDown, and that's Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. Um,
Yeah. Huh. Now, remember what I said last week?
yeah.
And how I forgot that they had actually faced each other at WrestleMania 39, and it looks like it looks like booking did too.
It kind of, in my,
It's
oh, continue.
no, yeah, it's an interesting concept. Did it like okay? Are is this their way of getting Dominic out of the way? For Rhea and Becky, or even a tag title match.
I think it's just getting him on the card because they didn't have anything for him. You know, you could all, his his issues with Rey Mysterio are never not going to go away. I mean, he is his father. So you could always run it back, but I didn't necessarily like the way that they decided just to throw him into this. It kind of seems a little cheap, if I'm being honest.
I mean, yeah, like, why did Dominic need to be the guy attacking Rey? That doesn't really, that does not make sense. Considering that
Why couldn't this have
Yeah,
just been a one-on-one match between Escobar and Mysterio?
because the WWE isn't confident enough in Escobar to have a one-on-one match at Mania that will keep the crowd enthralled.
I don't know about that.
Having Dominic involved now equals an instant audience reaction.
I mean, obviously, yeah, having Dom there is going to get a reaction. But they wouldn't put him on the WrestleMania card if they didn't believe in Escobar. You're saying, not being able to deliver, a crowd reaction, case in point, Karrion Kross is nowhere to be seen on this card, so...
Yeah, because he's gonna... There's gonna be probably a six-man tag on the pre-show, if anything. Lashley and the Street Profits against Karrion Kross and AOP.
But I mean, if it...
But after watching it after watching SmackDown last night, part of me was wondering, are they actually going to try and pull this? Part of me thought, are they actually going to try and do another War Games match?
No, they would never do that.
I mean, hey, if they could do a Hell in a Cell match now outside of Hell in a Cell, even though Hell in a Cell wasn't actually, an event until 2011, it's, again, I don't think they're that happy with Escobar's reaction, but they want him to succeed. They're trying to make Escobar... They're trying to make him Eddie. And with Andrade back and being recruited by Dominic, maybe there's something underneath this.
Huh. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. It does kind of just seem like it was thrown together. If there was anybody that they didn't believe in, I would say that it was the rest of Legado, Fantasma, and LWO. Considering that, this was the faction that were rivaling with each other. And who's in the match? Dominic Mysterio, a Judgment Day guy. So they could have
really paid tribute to Lucha Libre here, done Lucha Libre rules.
Yeah, but I mean, like, this WWE crowds know what that is. Well, anyway, who actually wins the match?
Alright, and before I give my opinion on the winner, just think about this. Rhea and Dominic out, Andrade and Charlotte in. Judgment Day.
How is that going to work with Rhea?
Who knows?
Okay.
But if Andrade, is recruited, someone's gonna have to go, and Dominic's gonna think it's JD. But then it's gonna turn out that it's Dominic, and Rhea is coming to his aid. And last night on SmackDown, Rhea was sticking up for Dominic, the Priest.
Well, I mean, he is for Latino heat.
Is there something you need to... Is there something you need to say to Dominic? And then Rhea said, is there something you need to say to me? And she had such a look of concern on her face that it just made me think of it. Either way, Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee, of all people, I mean, again, Dragon Lee in this seems about just as random as teaming Dominic with Escobar.
Well, they want to promote, obviously, Lee to try and get him to be, they have aspirations for this guy. So I get that.
The only thing missing from this, is Vicky Guerrero.
Yeah, I would say so. Who wins the match, Scooter?
Ray beat Dominic at 39, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dominic and Escobar.
I agree. Alright, another match made yesterday on SmackDown is Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi will be taking on Damage Cetrill, Asuka, Dakota Kai, and Kairi Sane. Jade Cargill making her debut in a six-man, okay, but
why not?
don't you want to see Jade in a one-on-one match?
I mean, giving her first one-on-one match at Mania is something they've learned to not do, thanks to, Dirty Dongo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nobody will get, their first match at WrestleMania unless, they're a, worldwide celebrity.
Right. Bad Bunny, Logan Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a way to get Bianca on the card. Is this the best way to use her? Maybe not, but
not considering that, the women's title matches, honestly, they have more build to them than I think any WrestleMania prior. And then, I'm including 35. These two, those two women's title matches have more story in them, than ever before. And the trope, I guess you would say, of the stable is, for the person in charge, who has a match, you got to give the rest of the stable a match, so that there's so there can at least be a logical reason that they don't show up during the match.
Unless it's on a separate night.
Yeah. I'm absolutely fine with the six-man tag. You get Bianca and Naomi, for WrestleMania back. Jade's first WrestleMania as well. I mean, this is some might say this is just to kind of satiate the DEI crowd. Yeah, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Oh, because you have
you have two African American female superstars. You know,
Dre and two Asians.
three as a team. Two, making one making their return to WrestleMania. One making the WrestleMania debut. You have and on the other side you've got Dakota Kai.
Well, the way I look at it is,
Asuka and Kyrie have been on WrestleMania together, so.
Well, I mean, you have, you say diversity, you have 3 black girls against 2 Asians and a charity case in Dakota Kai.
A Kiwi.
I mean, the charity case is a little bit more harsher, I'd say, but maybe funnier.
I mean, that's what people from New Zealand are called, Kiwis, so.
Yeah, that's correct.
But Jade can, do the hope spot and whatnot. Jade can, take the match home, showcase a little bit of power, and then afterwards, boom, she can go right into being a heel. And start feuding with Bianca. Naomi would get caught in the middle, which is going to be the case. Could this end up being like kind of a double turn, if possible, down the line, where Bianca, starts siding with the Profits and Lashley after B-Fab was taken out last night. There's a lot of promise in that 6-woman tag, not just for the match, but for the future, involving most of those women. Bianca, Naomi, and Jade for the win.
I agree. Jade Cargill pins Dakota Kai. And with that, Asuka has another loss at WrestleMania. Alright, let's get into the singles matches. LA Knight versus AJ Styles. I don't believe there's any stipulation attached to it, so it's just a singles match. Do I think this is going to be the last time they wrestle? Probably not. Is it going to be a good match? I definitely think so. I think AJ will win this. I don't necessarily think LA Knight needs a W at this stage to be more over than he already is, no?
See, with every WrestleMania, you have your upper card match. There's no title, no stipulation. This is it. AJ Styles, LA Knight. I can't help but think that this is just so Styles and Knight are on the card. I kind of believe that they thought LA Knight was going to fizzle out in terms of popularity.
And he's probably more over than he was 6 months ago.
Yes. And I would... You know what? AJ. Considering the fact that supposedly AJ is going to debut new music.
They do want some?
What?
They do want some?
Did. They want some. Yeah, they really want some.
Come get some. It's yum yum.
AJ wins. That makes me think LA Knight wins Money in the Bank, cashes in that same night.
Okay, how did we get to Money in the Bank? Let's focus on Mania.
Because AJ winning here would mean a title match down the road if Knight were to win Money in the Bank and cash in immediately. And I really believe it's Knight's year, so I will go with I'm going to go with AJ to win just based on my future booking skills.
Well, while you were, deciding who you thought was going to win the match, I actually changed my mind. And I'm going to go with LA Knight to win, mainly because there's another match on this card where the bad guy has to win. And if all the bad guys win, then it's not WrestleMania and it's not a happy ending. You kind of understand? Kind of get where I'm going with that?
Yeah, but ever since WrestleMania 2000, we were never happy endings at WrestleMania were never guaranteed anymore.
True, but I mean, it was still a rare occurrence. But back to, let's get to I'm going with LA Knight now, and now to our other special singles, match on the card, and that is Jimmy versus Jey Uso, brother versus brother. Who wins, Scooter?
It's the 15th anniversary of the last brother versus brother match at WrestleMania, and the 30-year anniversary of the first brother versus brother match at WrestleMania. Part of me is thinking, should they have put Solo in this? Or are they waiting to do that?
I mean, this sounds really stupid to say, but the history isn't with Solo, it's with Jimmy and Jay.
Yeah, I'm saying eventually.
Oh yeah.
Eventually there has to be a triple threat match.
Eventually.
Maybe even a fatal 4-way with Roman.
I think that's pushing it, but maybe a triple threat with Rikishi as the referee.
Soon enough we'll have an all Samoan Royal Rumble.
That could be very possible, considering how many of them there are.
That being said, I don't see why Jimmy would win this one. Jimmy has, there was a point where Jimmy was the one that looked like he was going to be the breakout singles guy.
The only thing he was breaking out of is jail, considering how many times he got DUIs.
And the fact that Jimmy is not as good at cutting promos as Jay is. He's not. And Jimmy's of the mindset, oh, if any of the bloodline does it, that means we all did it. You know, it's a weird case of stolen valor, if you will. But Jimmy's a stooge at this point.
He's been a stooge for quite some time.
Yeah, but it's Jay is top of the card.
Main event, Jay Uso.
Jimmy is below mid card at this point. They haven't given Jimmy as many matches as they have Jay, which is the mistake here. That being said, I really wonder if they're going to try making Jimmy and Jay actually look completely identical head to toe, including hairstyle and facial hair, and try to convince Solo that one is the other.
Oh, God, no.
I mean, hey, some twin magic.
That is so bad on so many levels for so many reasons. So you're going with Jay.
I'm going with Jay, and I don't think there has to be another match between Jay and Jimmy after this.
Okay, so you brought up that it was the 15th anniversary of Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy at 25. Who won that match? Matt Hardy, the heel. And it's the 30th anniversary of Brett versus Owen. Who won that match? Owen, the heel. If we're keeping on trend here, then that means Jimmy is going to win this match. And I'll go as far as to say, Jimmy needs to win this match. More so than Jay does. Jay's over like Rover. The people love him. He's going to win some type of championship in 2024. That's like almost locked and set in stone at this point. He doesn't need a win at WrestleMania here to stay relevant. Jimmy is basically on life support. If he can't find his niche to, start at his own singles career, it has to be here against Jay. If it doesn't happen for him, well, at least they could say they tried with a big win against Jay. But, if Jay just beats him, then it's complete. It was over before it begun for Jimmy. So, for all of those reasons, it has to be Jimmy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm presuming that this is going to lead back to Jay and Roman in a non-title match. Almost like a Samoan gauntlet.
Tribal rules match?
Yeah, tribal combat, your bloodline rules, whatever,
Whatever you want to call it.
I absolutely see your point.
Right. Let's get. Oh.
Seeing Jimmy. Seeing Jimmy. Jimmy really has to prove he can hang outside of a ring. His talent in the ring is not what's in question to me.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Did anybody have money on Matt Hardy to beat Jeff at 25?
I'm not sure how many people even remembered that match was happening. Keep in mind they had an I Quit match at the next one.
I think it was Extreme Rules.
No, the Extreme Rules was WrestleMania.
No, I mean the paid preview Extreme Rules.
Yeah, but well, no, it was Backlash.
Backlash was still in 2009?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, somebody that...
So, you know what? I'll go with Jimmy. I'm going with Jimmy.
Oh, so I have swayed you.
Yes.
Alright, that brings us to, a triple threat match for the United States Championship, Logan Paul versus Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. You could say that this is a waste of Randy Orton's time. I don't think anybody would tell you you're wrong. But what say you, Scooter? Who wins the match?
Oh, man. Does Randy losing here kill any momentum he has to get back to the world title? No, probably not.
No, he's Randy Orton.
Randy Orton is bona fide at this point, so.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens, if you look at, you know, the parallels on, you know, between Raw and SmackDown, and, you know, what went down at WrestleMania last year.
That's right.
We might be looking at a somewhat similar ending celebration to WrestleMania 20.
Well, neither of them are going to main event, so that's unlikely.
Well, I mean, but still, they would still celebrate. So if Logan is going to stay, if Logan is actually going to really stay around and, you know, have a number more matches, then something has to happen where it's not just, you know, random schmuck we don't know handing in brass knucks. Or, yeah, it can't be KSI in a friggin' Prime bottle costume again. Which is probably something they will do.
It should have been Jack Tomlinson.
No, somebody will come out in a Prime bottle, but we won't be able to know who it is because whoever it is has their mouth duct taped on the inside. And it turns out it ends up being that Brass Knucks guy, and Kevin Owens got to him before Mania.
Oh, that would be nice.
I'm gonna go with KO.
I agree. KO for the W on Logan Paul. Randy Orton not in the mix, not a factor. Randy Orton doesn't need it, and I could make the argument Kevin Owens doesn't need it at this point, but the real rivalry here is between Kevin Owens and Logan Paul. Not Logan Paul and Randy Orton. I could make the argument that this was Ricochet's match to be in, but his fiance is more over than he ever will be, so he lost that spot. Alright, a six-pack tag team ladder match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. You got the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest versus DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tomato Ciampa. The Awesome Truth, Miz and R-Truth versus the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods versus A-Town Down Under, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller versus New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates. Who wins, Scooter?
Well, no matter who wins, pronunciation loses. The clear money is on Awesome Truth. It's the Truth's WrestleMania moment, and it's likely going to be his first big one and his last. I mean,
First and only.
The man is 53 years old.
Still looks fantastic.
Yeah, so absolutely.
You could say that he's more over at 53 than he was at 23.
But with Theory and Waller in this, I can see them winning and just pissing everybody off. You know what? Screw it. The tag titles need to come off Balor and Priest, and once they do, you gotta split them back up. So I will go Awesome Truth for the win.
Well, you got a six-pack challenge, but you forgot to mention that there might be a seventh tag team in this match. The last time there was a ladder match at WrestleMania, the Hardys showed up and won the whole shebang.
Oh God. They were. Well, that was a genuine surprise. Two, it became a fatal four-way as opposed to a seven-pack challenge. But do you really think they would pull something like they did at WrestleMania 33? And with who though?
No, probably not. That being said, who's the good guys in this match? DIY, nobody would care if they won the championships. Kofi and Xavier are well past their expiration date at this point. And New Catch Republic, not over, in my opinion. So yeah, Awesome Truth would make the most sense. If it's not, Awesome Truth, then I would have to go with the New Day, considering that they've never won at WrestleMania. I could make the argument they don't even have a WrestleMania moment.
32.
Coming out of a box of Bootios?
Yeah, and getting stunned.
Could you really call that dancing, though?
I call it a moment.
Oh,
Hey, that's a moment that actually launched a catchphrase so popular it launched a breakfast cereal. With ass in the title.
you mean,
I mean,
Daddy
you
Ass's
ever,
Ass-O's didn't sell?
I mean, there were Bootios, and then there was Bootios, Dingleberry Crunch.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, but I thought, the next evolution of that product would be with dingleberries. I mean, come on.
Let's get into the next match.
I mean, is it possible AOP would strong arm their way into the match?
They're not smart enough to do that.
But Paul Ellering is.
Yeah, but his eyes are too focused on Scarlett at this point. Alright. We got the Intercontinental Championship match, Sami Zayn versus Gunther. Who wins?
People are kind of upset that this is Gunther versus Sami Zayn instead of Gunther versus Chad Gable. They're getting Gable involved in this, which really makes me think Gable will be made a part of this at Raw in Brooklyn on Monday.
But they already signed a contract.
If it was Gunther and Chad Gable, I'd be way more confident that Gunther is losing. The fact that it's Gunther and Sami Zayn tells me Gunther is absolutely winning. And we must also remember that Sami Zayn has already won the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania.
Against Daniel Bryan at 36.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, what I could see is KO winning, Sami losing, and Sami turning heel.
No, they're not going to turn Sami heel.
Alright, fine. KO heel turn. He's getting up there with the Big Show in terms of turns.
They're not even on the same show.
Yes, but there's going to be a draft after Mania.
Maybe, question mark. So you're going with Gunther, right?
Yeah, I'm going with Gunther, yes.
Alright, so hear me out. Gunther beats Sami Zayn, but it's a smash finish. Gunther has Mr. Fuji in his corner. He draws the sacrificial salt in Sami Zayn's eyes. Chad Gable comes to console him. Sami Zayn says, "Go get him, Tiger." He goes in there. He body slams Gunther, does the leg drop, wins the Intercontinental Championship.
I mean, it's funny. I started watching Raw in order from its debut, and I'm up to 2 some odd weeks after WrestleMania 9. Hogan didn't body slam Yoko though. It was literally a shot, a boot, leg drop. The idea of throwback finishes kind of makes me see the entire card from a new perspective.
But I'm not saying every match is going to be a throwback.
I know, but I'm saying if they're celebrating 40 years of WrestleMania, presumably they're going to be showing, moments throughout the night.
If they have time, I highly doubt they are.
I mean, they're going to have plenty of video packages ready to go, about, WrestleMania statistics and whatnot. We'll get a ladder match statistic, that's for sure. But you know what? I could actually see them doing the Hogan Yokozuna finish with Gable and Gunther.
That's why I brought it up.
Gable, still the only man who has any sort of victory over Gunther. So, it's definitely Gunther. If Gable hadn't, gone over, I mean,
Alright, so, yeah.
I just remembered the seventh team.
The Hardys.
The seventh team is going to be the world's greatest tag team.
No pop. No pop. Alright.
Maybe it's FTR.
Big pop. Top guys out. Alright, so, just to reiterate, you're going with Gunther, I'm going with Gunther, and then a Chad Gable impromptu match. Yes. Alright, then we got Io Sky defending the WWE Women's Championship against Bayley. Who wins, Scooter?
There is no other logical finish here other than Bayley winning. I'm honestly surprised they let Io's reign go on as long as they did.
That's definitely something that maybe would have happened in the McMahon era, for sure.
Because you wouldn't expect Asuka, who is clearly much more logically seen in a leadership role in a stable, and she's relegated to being the tag team of the stable.
But I could make the argument that Asuka is more methodical than that. She'll lean back, wait in, the rafters until it's time for her to strike when the opportunity presents itself. She's an opportunist in the end. My opinion.
The question is will Bayley have anyone on her side?
Well, depending on which night this happens, in the other match, with Damage Control, she might not have to worry about anybody. Scooter?
Yeah, I'm sorry, repeat that, that cut out.
No, I was saying, depending on what night the other damage control match is on, there might not, she might not have to worry about anybody.
Yeah, I'm thinking that the six-woman tag is, no, I would assume both on if both are on the same night, then the two matches have to be spread apart. If, they're on separate nights, it's gotta be, Io going at it on her own. I wouldn't put it past them to Io rejecting the help of damage control and wanting to prove that she can do this on her own, because there's a big sense of honor behind this match.
Let me ask you this.
And, yeah.
If does Bayley need to win this title at WrestleMania? She has a WrestleMania. She's won titles at WrestleMania before. She has. She doesn't necessarily need it, but I mean, this is Io's. Well, not her first WrestleMania. But it's her second WrestleMania, first in a singles match for, a major title. Wouldn't you want to kind of ride that out a little bit more and, kind of cement her? Or do you want to give Bayley another moment at Mania? Because I will say this, it's been a hot minute since Bayley has had a title run in WWE.
When did Io cash?
WrestleMania, SummerSlam, August.
SummerSlam, so 7 months, roughly 8. I mean, you think 8 months was not enough to cement her as champion?
I wouldn't say that, but I mean, winning at WrestleMania, is on another level than, losing at WrestleMania.
I mean, watch Bayley have Bull Nakano in her corner. Or, oh my god, Io has Bull Nakano, Bayley has Medusa, the wife of Blaze. You know what? I should ask her if she's been approached for that. Oh man,
That would actually be cool. I don't think they'll do it, but it would be cool.
Here's the thing, and feel free to disagree with me on this, but Io Sky, I mean, the name change really kind of set her back in my eyes. Being Io Shirai was, that was solid. That was the name that was known.
The only
Io
thing
Sky,
that... Yeah.
and tell me if you disagree with this, is a mid to upper card level talent who got lucky with her cash-in. She's not exactly a proven main eventer in terms of, putting her on in the main event.
100% disagree. Her only other title run in NXT, who did she beat? Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. She held that NXT championship for a damn near year, and she's had banger after banger after banger in NXT. I don't necessarily think that she has gotten to showcase that as much in WWE. But I mean, I kind of feel like she was kind of set back on course of being a main eventer when she wrestled Bianca in Puerto Rico, and she got a bigger reaction than Bianca did. So Io could go, and Io could have banger matches, when she's given, the opportunity to do so.
Is it possible they might debut another new talent here?
Like who?
If they can finalize signing Julia or Shuri.
Oh, so another Japanese Joshi wrestler.
Who else? Are we gonna get Tessa Blanchard? Either way, what I'm saying is, there's got to be some more to this from Bayley's, point of view.
And I think I found it, but I'll let you decide on who you want to win this match first. Well, you think is going to win.
I'm gonna go Bayley. Bayley, I think Bayley needs this win, and I think as soon as she wins, we're gonna see the master of Hugonomics.
I wouldn't go that far, but I am going to go with Bayley as well, and it's for this reason alone. She could do more. She could do more for talent coming up as champion, putting them over, than if she wouldn't. I truly believe after Bayley finishes things up with Damage Control, your next challenger is Tiffany Stratton. And who could lead Tiffany Stratton to a banger of a match? It's going to be Bayley, and get her completely over. And, and then, after Stratton, you got Cargill and a bunch of other new girls that Bayley could really help as champion rather than as not champion. So for that reason, I'm going with Bayley.
You know what? I'm now thinking. I'm seeing what you're thinking, and you know what? I agree. I don't think it's Tiffany right out the gate. I think it might be. They might go with Bianca just to really take it to really cement Bayley's reign, and Cargill Abigail and Naomi before Bianca. Tiffany is somewhere in there. It is somewhere involved. I think her issues with Bianca are going past WrestleMania.
Well, right now, Tiffany doesn't have a match at Mania, so I highly doubt she is at this point. But, you know, a match in France against Bayley? Maybe. You know, depending on what happens with Io, or, you know, we could see the rematch with Io at Backlash, and then, you know, somewhere in there of Tiffany versus Bayley during the summer. But I definitely think this is leading to Bayley versus Tiffany. I don't think Tiffany's going to win the championship, but, you know, it is going to elevate her. And that brings us to the Women's World Championship match. Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. Who wins, Scooter?
Rhea. Hands down.
Wow, not even a conversation.
Nope, there is no reason. Rhea has gotten into the mind of Becky, and Rhea has put Becky off of her game. When Rhea beats Becky, Rhea's gonna really believe that there's probably nobody left that can beat her.
And that being said, she's been champion for 1 year at WrestleMania. So, if not Becky, who? I have one name, but I would like to hear what you have first.
Charlotte, first of all, but that's way down the line. Could they presumably bringing up a few from NXT, I would say Raquel, except
she's off the roster right now.
Yeah. I mean, you could put Tiffany.
No, you can't.
No. I mean, I'd love to say AJ Lee, but
never.
You know what? You do Nikita Lyons.
I'm liking this so far.
Or okay, Nikita Lyons, Blair Davenport, Miko Satomura,
the original final boss.
Or more likely, oh God, I had the name. Hold on, I got it. It's in my head. Hold on. I say Miko Satomura. Who else did I had God, Nikita Lyons.
Blair Davenport.
Miko Satomura. And I had two more, and I can't remember the other one, but the other one in that, bring up Gigi.
In all honesty, is Gigi as over as she could be? I mean, she had that little hot rivalry with JC, but I haven't necessarily heard anything from her in quite some time.
Yeah, that's...
Well,
Oh,
let me...
okay.
L-
Carmella
no.
or Alexa.
Ooh. There's maybe an Alexa rivalry. But... Okay, so this is where I kind of splinter off with, Rhea's and Becky's head. Becky is the man. Becky is the face of the company. She is the Stone Cold if Rhea is the Rock at this point. And the main thing about Rhea, and this is a trend in her career, she needs a mountain to climb. That original mountain was Charlotte Flair, and that mountain eluded her for 3 years. And it's why Rhea is the way Rhea is now. So, if Becky beats her at Mania, then that gives Rhea a mountain to climb, I would say. So, but if it's not Becky to beat Rhea, which it would make sense if it was, the only other logical person in my mind is Liv Morgan. As much as I would love to say Liv had her moment as a champion, I really can't say that she had her moment as champion. She held the championship for what, 3 months with with 2 smart finishes on Ronda Rousey and a fairly decent match against Shayna Baszler. It could be her crowning moment to beat Rhea. If that happens, it's more likely that will happen at SummerSlam than Mania at this point. But, that would mean we would have Rhea Ripley as champion for 2 years rather than 1 year, if they go Mania to Mania with Liv. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and kind of selfishly, I kind of want to see Becky win the championship as well. She arguably had a better 2023 when it came to match-wise than Rhea did. So, in my opinion, I think it would benefit more for Becky to win than Rhea. Okay, so she beat Becky Lynch. Well, what's next for her to do? Nobody knows. But if she has that question mark with Becky, then, you could throw it back. You could run it back. So, yeah, I think it's controversial, but I'm going to go with Becky. Alright, so you're Rhea, I'm Becky, correct?
Yeah.
Alright, so then we actually go into the matches that we know have that are going to be on night 1 and night 2, respectively. We got a tag team match. If Rhodes and Rollins win, all members of the Bloodline will be barred from ringside during the undisputed WWE Universal Championship match on night 2. If Rock and Reigns wins, the championship match on night 2 will be a Bloodline Rules match. We got the Bloodline, The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Who wins, Scooter?
The question is this where we see the cracks start to form in the Bloodline's plan? And do we see, The Rock essentially facilitating, this downfall so that Cody can have an equal shot, which, regardless, doesn't matter, it won't keep the Bloodline away. I mean, if they're actually going to follow this, then, again, it's just a Bloodline. Which, I could see Paul Heyman striking a deal with Damian Priest. And heck, they might, Cody and Seth will win night 1, but Damian will come out of night 1 having cashed in and won. So, Seth drew Damian, and I'm going to assume that the ladder match is night 1.
Okay. So, who wins the match?
Seth and Cody.
Seth and Cody. Okay, well,
and with just the emphasis on, they're not looking to, Bloodline's not really looking to win this. They want to soften Cody up, and to a lesser extent Seth.
alright, so there's one thing you failed to mention, and that is The Rock did not get on a plane to fly to Philadelphia, go to Pat Orgino's steak, drive to the arena just to lose to Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. It's his only match.
He knows it's better, goddammit.
Oh, well, in some people's opinions.
I've been there, damn it.
Well, The Rock, you forget that The Rock is a very egotistical man, and that he likes to win his matches. And there's no way in the world The Rock, they're going to give Cody Rhodes a win on The Rock, and then night 2 give him a win on Roman Reigns. It's just not going to happen. So
Wait. Are you saying there's no way they're giving The Rock a win?
They're not giving Cody a win on The Rock on night 1, and then a win on Roman Reigns on night 2. And what does WWE love more than a straight, technical one-on-one masterpiece? They love their Gaga matches. They love their Smosh finishes. They love having a clusterfuckery of weapons and things like that. Me and you literally just saw WrestleMania 15 a couple days ago for, a watch along. So, this is how I see it. Rock and Roman wins night one with some help from Drew McIntyre, maybe a Claymore to Seth Rollins, maybe a Claymore to Cody Rhodes. Who knows? But Drew McIntyre is going to play a factor in that match. The Rock is going to either... You know what? Let's go to full Monty. The Rock pins Cody Rhodes night one. Makes it bloodline rules. The odds are stacked against Cody. There's no way he could win. He has all of the members of the bloodline against him. But in some desperate miracle from God, the will of Dusty Rhodes in his soul, he still comes out on top of Roman Reigns night two, because maybe, just maybe, The Rock, I want to say, cost Roman the match, but maybe there's miscommunication that causes Cody to get the upper hand and get the W on Roman. So I kind of revealed who I think's gonna win night two of the main event, but yeah, I think Rock is going to beat Cody on night one.
I can only think that if Rock actually gets the pin on Cody, then it's for a reason.
I mean, it's not exactly something you can't run back, in a singles match.
I think, except for, I think Cody wants bloodline rules. There's some outside guiding hands in this, but considering how long Roman has had a stranglehold on those titles, he's the pariah of the locker room. Aside from Jimmy, Solo, and Paul, Roman doesn't have anybody else. And The Rock right now. I'd say it stands to reason that this is more than Cody fighting to complete his story. He's fighting so that new stories can begin. This is why I'm gonna spit a crazy idea here. A locker room rebellion. Roman's looking for every way out. And he can't. Nobody is there for Roman anymore. Heyman will get taken out. Jimmy, taken out. Solo, taken out. Only Rock and Roman are standing. And while Roman and Rock are, kind of standing back to back and whatnot, The Rock slowly turns around and looks at Roman, gives him the eyebrow, and then boom, Rock bottom. And he gets the hell out of the ring. And we're back to an even playing field.
Well, you talked about, there potentially being, some legends coming. You know, maybe Seth help Age in helping Cody at night two. Jay is definitely, a part of all of this. Depending on what night this match is, LA Knight, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and who hates The Rock the most? Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold comes. Stone Cold. Rock is protecting Roman. Stone Cold comes down. Stunner. Beer bat. Cody wins the championship. Shares a beer with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Then that's really like that's saying, okay, it's a celebration for Austin.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, he would just give him a beer, give him sprinkle some Stone Cold dust on him, and walk out. Maybe we could do what they did for Brett in 10, where everybody picks Cody up on their shoulders.
That's what I'm thinking. As Cody, the man who saved the WWE.
Well, it seems like we're both in agreement. Cody is going to win night 2 against Roman.
Yes, although I am lowering my expectations.
Yeah, considering that we were more or less all a lock on Cody Rhodes last year, and we know how that ended. Alright, so we got a little off track here. Main event, second to the last here. So let's talk about Seth Rollins defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Drew McIntyre with CM Punk on commentary. Who wins that match?
Of course, we're assuming that Seth is still the champion going into this match.
Well, I'm assuming he is, for sure.
Now, looking back at McIntyre's title losses, and then when he won them back, he's had quite a few of them where he would actually win them back. Going back to Randy Orton as the most recent one. Actually, I didn't realize yet Drew's only been a 2-time champion, so except Drew never lost this belt to Seth. So, with the outside factor of Punk, the possibility of Damian Priest changing the landscape of this match before it even begins. I'm gonna go with Drew.
I feel like it has to be Drew. Seth beat Drew the last 3 times that they wrestled. So, if this, it has to be Drew. The originally rivalry was with Punk and Rollins, but I feel like Punk and Drew far exceeded that in literally 2 weeks. And I feel like the championship being attached to a Drew McIntyre CM Punk match is a lot more interesting and has a lot more. It will have a lot more eyes on it than if Seth Rollins wrestles Punk at this point. So it kind of has to be Drew, I think. Especially if, obviously, if he doesn't resign, then it's going to be Rollins. But um, it has to be Drew. All right, I think we're all squared. Um, think that will conclude our coverage of WrestleMania Night 1 and 2 and this episode as a whole. Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, but on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us this Tuesday as we interview Nathan Niles. This Wednesday as we interview Zeke and Dino. And this Friday as we have a watch-along of Sebastian Seabass Finn versus Bateman with Seabass Finn. And of course, follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Thread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can we find Scooter?
As always, find me on X at Scooter Dust. The profile pic contest is still very much open. Identify what my profile pic on X is, and you will win a free year subscription to Peacock. Answers will be taken via direct message, and nobody has gotten it right as of now.
Alright, for Coleco Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.